and it seems like teams are picking less and less hard disables nowadays. Like Lion is a hero that we haven't really seen picked up too often.
Yeah.
Disruptor is pretty typical, but I mean, Evil Geniuses did reveal their hand early on. But I think for EG, the plan is get going early. Like, get aggressive as possible in the laning phase, try to take whatever we can off the bat, and just, like, don't let the Weaver even become a factor. Because if the Weaver gets any sort of space at all, and doesn't die, picks up, like, starts like 3-0, then I feel like this game snowballs really hard in his favor.
Man, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful with EG's last pickup, because you're looking for momentum and you're looking for a way to completely, like, chop the head off the Weaver. You've got exactly what you need. A man who carries literally his name, an axe. And that's where you could just pick off the Weaver, you get control factor, you get your also very strong dual off lane, so PPD and Universe can just sit together here forever, and then that leaves the top lane with the Wisp Jar behind him. So really, EG get everything they're looking for out of the lanes, but so does Alliance. Like, if Alliance can keep control of their jungle right now, and that gives space to Arcade, they'll be very happy. Pycap, sitting in the trees, they're right on top of him at the moment. But they'll walk themselves up and out of the jungle. Where's the warding? PPD has... Okay, so they just left one Observer ward behind. Yeah. They don't stop Arcade. They do not stop Arcade with this.
I think they heard the ward down as well. I think Arcade should be able to get this down, like you said. And this is a pretty crucial ward for Arcade to be able to de-ward, if he's able to actually realize that it is there. As EG looked like they wanted to go for both runes, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. As Fear, I mean, he's playing Gyrocopter, one of the better level 1 heroes.
He missed the sentry ward position. They thought the Observer ward was up here in the tree line. In fact, they're still pinging it out, thinking that it's there, but they're wrong. They have to go west where the skies are blue.
Yeah, and this is actually a pretty...
And now they'll see it.
Okay, so now he sees it for sure.
Wait, yeah. Arcade was still checking at the tree line. He didn't instantly see it.
Oh, okay. He should be able to get this down in time.
Oh, Admiral Bulldog, be careful. He doesn't want Shikuchi away. He's actually holding on to it, so he waits for the secondary Rocket Barrage from Fear. He just copped a Rocket Barrage in full length, and then copped the Shadow Wave from PPD, and dropped to about 100 to 200 HP.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine though. He's just trying not to waste any mana if he can. He's going to get out of there, and the cooldown is so long, right? He doesn't want Fear to be able to get on top of him as well. So doing a good job right now of keeping distance and creating space. And Pycat is actually, they've actually switched it up here. They've actually put Pycat in this bottom lane and put Loda in this mid lane.
This is actually amazing too. The downside is, of course, like, these lanes are working a lot better for Alliance, because you know Loda's going to be able to find his farm up against Sumail. Erasmus not really that great up against Bristleback, and you can just ferry your bottle back and forward. But with Pycat as well as Bucking Mad, they're keeping Universe completely zoned out this bottom lane. The downside is Admiral Bulldog. Like you said, he was trying to keep his distance, trying to kite it out. He went into a battle with PPD while standing directly on top of PPD. So he caught the harassment as well as the Shadow Wave damage. Hence he's solo and hugging the tower.
Yeah, he does have a lot of regen though, and that's what I like about Bulldog here, is that he picked up a set of tangos with the salve as well, and he's pretty okay right now as the pauses come out. But I think Loda was meant to originally go as a safe laner, like I thought, but they probably switched things up based on Universe being in the off lane. I think Universe playing the axe, something I really like about him is that he pressures your support so hard. Like, there's nobody quite like him in that role where he just kind of right clicks your supports, you can't really do anything. And a Bristle as a melee hero isn't really going to be able to back you up, because Lion has one of the worst HP pools in the game. You don't really want to use the Earth Spike early unless you're trying to actually pressure, because the stun cooldown, or the duration is actually quite low, right? It's like 1.02 seconds. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't actually do anything. The Hex doesn't add any damage. And I feel like a Bristle in conjunction with a Lion would do nothing to an axe, whereas a Queen of Pain with the dagger can pretty much do everything.
Well, it's a very, very good thing that we have a lot of conspiracy players still around here. It seems Arcade's got a problem with his mouse, where when he clicks once, it continues to click with his right click. That seems to be his issue. But they are solving said issue, and they're actually good to go game again. So we can get back into the game and start up again. The boys instantly ran over and helped him out, which is good.
I don't think the game is starting, Toby.
You don't?
Yeah, okay, Arcade's...
Okay, Arcade is disconnected. Okay, yeah, maybe that's not so brilliant.
Alright, so it's coming to us again.
Yeah, might be a bit of a console change that has to be done.
You want to know... Alright, should we talk seriously about Dota right now, or can I tell you what just happened upstairs?
Tell me a story, Blitz.
Alright, chat.
And especially to everyone here on ESPN.
For the past 10 minutes...
who's watching on ESPN, this is story time.
For the past 10 minutes, Charlie from... for people that don't know, Charlie Yang, he's EG's manager.
Yeah.
Told me that he thought that Zoe could take me in a fight. Like, if we got into a street fight, she literally, and I'm using the word literally correctly here, weighs like 70 to 80 pounds less than me, and he's convinced she would beat me in a fight. Like, he's so certain, and so is she. That's the crazy part. She would destroy you. Alright, so Charlie's shouting in the background that she would destroy me, but there's no way that's true.
I agree with Charlie.
Oh my... I'm actually working with a bunch of insane people.
No, dude, Zoe lifts.
There's no way this is even close. Like, it's actually not even close.
There shall be a showdown. You'll see it later.
Oh, and Universe is actually getting gone on right now, as he does get hexed up, and Matt actually has the stun available, and...
The problem is, you've already used Pycat's Blink. The stun may actually be enough for this. And the hex is already, like, barely way through, but yeah, Blitz, you get wrecked.
Okay, his first lens, sorry guys. What a teammate Bulldog is.
We'll stream it out in MLG later on. It'll come after our foot race. That has to be done.
Alright, so the game is going to resume, and it does look like they are going for bottom lane. I don't know if Universe will die. He doesn't have call or anything like that, and Matt is actually quite low, and Pycat doesn't have his blink available as well. This is actually going to be pretty safe for Universe, I think.
It's pretty close, down to 50 HP. He's going to tango up, but Pycat's chasing it. One attack is all he really requires, and that'll give him first blood, or is it? Universe had more time to regenerate, and the Shadow Strike's not doing enough work. Blinks off cooldown, and Universe, well, he's low in the corner. Pycat blinks away. He was really worried about getting called then. But Universe didn't level it up. He went for Battle Hunger, as well as the counter helix instead.
Yeah, and I actually like that play. I think that going for the Battle Hunger early there is what allowed him to pressure off Mad really quickly. And if you notice that PPD now is in a position where if he wanted, he could be in this lane. And it looks like Universe is actually just going to switch off, completely leave that lane. And this is something that I really like about Universe. A lot of offlaners that I feel like are relatively unexperienced, they'll stay in the offlane thinking they can get something. But I feel like Universe is one of those offlaners that says, okay, I could just get so much more from the jungle. I'm going to prioritize my farm over anything else. Let's just focus on that.
As we're getting through our little tech issues as well here. Interesting that Mad's come so close to Sumail. Now, Sumail got vision on him. In fact, he actually got vision of two heroes by firing off that power shot. He saw both RK as well as Mad behind that tier 1 tower. But this is when RK and Mad really want to rotate. You've managed to go 3 minutes without getting first blood with your Chen and Lion. This is not an acceptable situation right now for Alliance when they're up against a Wisp and Dazzle. They want to be able to get an advantage with this lineup that they're currently running. So they're coming in deep. They're looking for the offlane, which is also another reason why they're going for this, is because they abandon now. So RK throws down the Observer Ward. They see Universe, but Universe also sees RK.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Ake, he has to make something happen in this mid lane because Sumail's doing so well right now. He's got 26 CS. Like, that's actually pretty absurd right now. 26 CS at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. For people that don't know, anything above 25 at 5 is pretty reasonable. If you're at 30 at 5 minutes, you're really happy with that. So he's about a minute ahead of schedule if you want to know my mid timings personally.
Well, I would trust you above most other players as far as it comes to mid timings.
Dude, everyone's a better player than me in the chat, though. It's all good. So that's his top lane, Bulldog. He does have the backup of both supports, but diving into an IO, Gyro, and a Dazzle just kind of seems suicidal to me.
It seems very dangerous. I think that's also the reason why they put down these observer wards where they did. So they can watch where Axe is moving, and they can also see if you do lose the Dazzle or the Wisp from the lane. But how do you even change that up? Like, can you even zone out the Wisp and the Dazzle? It doesn't really seem to be that possible.
It's such a defensive lane, and if you're going to fight against a Gyrocopter, it's one of the heroes that's better at counter-initiating in the game, so they have to be really careful. And again, I mean, Mad's trying to make moves right now in this mid lane, but Sumail, if you notice what he's doing right now, Toby, is he's playing down into the right, because he realizes if there's an angle that the Chen's going to come at, he wants to be as close as he can to the tower, and the best way to do that is to stay down into the right. And if you notice, he's always trying to play onto the right side of this range creep to make sure that he has enough time to respond if somebody makes a move on him.
Well, right now, man, he's completely dominating the mid lane. The smoke ganks are failing. The Observer was at least watching Aoi 2000 doing his farm, but you're now power leveling up a Wisp with a Tornado creep, as well as just his Spirit farming. And because he's by himself here, it basically means this Wisp's going to pop level 4, potentially level 4.5.
Yeah, and Sumail continuing to free farm in this lane. I mean, the fact that he's got 39 CS in a lane where at bottom Pycat had nobody to CS against means that he's getting near free farm right now in this mid lane. And I can't really blame Lota because it is a bristleback against a Wind Ranger, but still, just good laning choices so far by EG.
Yeah. To be honest, I thought the bristleback could have been a little bit more aggressive in the mid, but then you kind of realize that bristleback is not playing with the Wisp, he's not playing with the Dazzle. So he still has to be a little bit more restrained up against a potential control. PPD, got a little bug scarab on the back of him, but Sumail and PPD helping each other out to get rid of each of their bugs.
Yeah, it's a buddy help system, and Lota just continues to farm out. He is bottle crowing, realizes that it's a little bit unreliable to go for that rune because he doesn't know where Universe was for a second. So going all the way to that bottom rune isn't 100% reliable. It is still available to him, but I don't even know if it's worth his time because I feel like he has to sit in the mid lane and just get as much farm as he can.
I want to ask you a question about Pycat, because he's been farming on this bottom lane for a while. What timing are we looking for from him, and what item builds? Like, are we looking at Orchid? Are we looking at Aghanim Scepter? What's more important for the Queen of Pain?
Typically, I'd say you want an item that can accompany Snowball. I don't think this is something like a BKB. An Orchid would be okay. A Necrobook 3 would be alright as well. Like, I could see a Necrobook 3 or an Orchid being okay. If he decides to go for Team Fight, then he could go for the Aghanim Scepter as well. But I think with the Chen on his team, I think Necrobook 3 would work out the best. Like, it would give them a lot of options to just kind of deathball. And you don't have to be the primary damage dealer because you've got a Weaver and a Bristleback, right? I think kind of building a little bit more utility would be in his best interest.
Sumail's getting a little cheeky here with Lota. He went down and picked up the bottom invis rune. It's like bottom lane 2, there's a lot of pressure coming in and they're ready for it. Now he's moving through, the Centaur can go with a stomp, he's also got that Mud Golem behind it, and that'll be first blood. Quick blink up, level 3 Scream, and Arcade Chen will be the first one to take the first blood.
Yeah, and that's a really valuable first blood on Ake because he had to waste some time being in the enemy jungle, wasn't able to accomplish a gank in mid. So for him to be able to get this one off is pretty key. And at the same time, forcing out this bottom lane, getting the kill on the IO is pretty huge because what it does now is that it forces Universe to rotate down, and it makes it so that he can't just free farm that Blink Dagger out.
Yeah, he's actually, he can't just sit inside the jungle anymore. Even though Alliance are watching every single move he was making, it does make life a little bit more difficult on Fear. He's moving over. Normally when Fear does this kind of movement, there's like a triple stack of Ancients for him. But in this case, there's absolutely nothing for him. I
think what they're actually anticipating is for Alliance to make some sort of wraparound and for him to kind of anticipate that, but this is pretty big of an investment right now. TPing Fear down and revealing what his position is because he doesn't have a TP anymore. It's fairly significant.
Well, he comes to farm middle lane, but that's exactly the same time Nad arrives with a Hex. Follow-up stun's going to be available. That's PPD on the TP-ins. They won't find this kill because Shallow Grave is already too strong. Into the call down. The Chen army will have a hard time escaping from this. Universe wants to chase it down as well, but at the same time, there's no jump available. This is just head-to-head battles from EG and Alliance. They're not going to find anything for the moment. And notice the one man who's missing from all of this, Sumail. He heads directly down the bottom lane to face up against Pycat.
Yeah, he just continues to farm. I think he's realized that this is the type of position that he's in where he just has to farm as much as he can, avoid fights, because if you're a mid laner, you can feel how far ahead you are.
He's been such a nuisance to Pycat. Pycat's got 3 1 charges as well as a bottle charge up his sleeve. But the second Sumail arrived, he threw 3 arrows in with phase boots onto this Queen of Pain, trying to force either the blink away or just the complete retreat from the wave.
Yeah, and Lota just desperately trying to catch up in farm right now. He's actually even lower than the off lane right now. And I mean, this is going to be a rough bristleback game, Toby. The axe is one of the better counters as you do force him to face you during the time of the call.
Sumail, too far down, goes for the shackle again on Pycat, but the hex will be there from Mad. Pycat, he's got the Sonic Wave available, but they don't require it. Sumail will end up going down. And that was a bait from Alliance. They were really ready to fight then. Arke even split his Mud Golem so he could pick up another set of Mud Golems. So he had the potentially 4 stuns.
Yeah, and he had to be careful there because there's no way they're going to get vision down there, right? No support was down there at any time. It was only fear that it rotated, so they're not going to have vision. Vision is faded at this point. It's 10 minutes into the game, so even if they did have a ward down there, which they didn't, it was in the jungle at that point, there's no way that he spots that rotation. And that's kind of the do-or-die type of player that Sumail is, you know, is like, he's going to pressure you, he's going to make you think that he has people behind you, but it's just the type of like attitude that he brings. I feel that when he plays, he's like, I'm going to get as much out of this as I possibly can. So with that death, it does allow some people to catch up. Is the gyrocopter, I mean, in terms of farm, EG doing a really good job, as they've almost got 3 out of the top 4 in terms of farm right now. As even Universe has 44 CS at this point.
And they can just enjoy it. The net worth still does balance out a little bit more. Whereas just 2nd and 3rd position to belong to EG, the rest of the top 5 belong to Alliance. Admiral Bulldog enjoying being aggressive. He's got a haste rune up his bottle as well. So he's all ready to go. And Loda's getting a lot more space in this mid now. Ever since Sumail rotated in the bottom lane, like, I can understand he's trying to get Pycat a little bit more scared about life, universe, and everything, but still, is this really the greatest rotation EG could do? Because it's slowing down Sumail's farm. Like, he was pretty well ahead before, and now he's sitting in 3rd net worth position. I know there's only 200 gold separating the top 3, but
the one issue for EG's lineup, though, Toby, that we have to always remember is that Universe is their main forms of initiation. Because Sumail, you don't want to just rely on the shackle shot. I feel like getting Universe's Blink Dagger is paramount. Like, that's the one thing you want to focus on.
So the sacrifice, well, by the way, missed that kill on top lane. That's Queen of Pain. It looks like he comboed up with the Weaver to find that kill over on Jaro.
Sorry, what were you going to say about it?
Is this the reason why it's worthwhile sacrificing Sumail to make sure Universe can get that space? Is that the point you're getting to?
Because the Bristleback can't really contest the axe out, so they're pretty much going to trade farm. And Sumail should do okay in this bottom lane. Like, it's hard for Ake to just go down there and constantly kill him. As like weird as that sounds, like, you don't want to hard commit for that every single time. Because what Ake wants to do is just pick up farm by himself. If you notice, he's stacking up the jungle for Loda as well. And he's just trying to get levels. And you don't want to go for ganks that may or may not work. Like, I don't think Sumail will, as I say that, like, he's already crossed the tree line with no vision.
He won't venture too far into Alliance territory? Is that where you're going?
I thought it would have been unlikely, but he just did the same thing. But it does cost Ake a lot to be going down there constantly just to be able to help out Mad secure his farm especially. And so I think Universe getting his Blink Dagger is your #1 goal right now. And it's going to come at a really reasonable time, and that's when you can actually pressure this Bristleback. Like, what I imagine happens is Universe stacks this up one more time, gets his Blink Dagger with this wave, and then Sumail or I think the Gyro should come in, and they should just TP gank Loda.
Okay. Watching so many stacks coming up in the jungle. There's a triple stack from PPD. He just prepared next to the top lane. Admiral Bulldog to this point still hasn't moved over to try and push it out. But be Fear to farm it up with Cold and Flat Cannon instead. And Fear's looking pretty good. He's already got the helm with the Dominator up and running. I'm not seeing any more stacking of the Ancients, which is really unusual for a team like EG. Normally they're very much on top of this. But Universe has his Blink Dagger. Aoi has his Relocate available. So EG is ready to try and play this global game. Alliance have taken 3 kills so far. They have a small advantage in the net worth as well as the experience earned. But this is when EG can make the plays. And we'll see if they're capable of doing so.
Yeah, and Universe has his Blink Dagger now. He's got Trinkle Boots going. AUI is healing him up at the same time. And I think the move, I don't even know if they can go for this mid lane anymore though.
But you look to just spot him. Like, try and kill off Pycat, because he still looks to be the major problem that EG will be facing in the mid game.
I think that's the play because Pycat is pretty squishy and he's got a fair amount of farm. And oh, this bottom lane, Matt is going to try to go for the rune. No.
Universe misses the call. He did get a haste rune, however, so we can chase after this. And Matt actually, he knew it was coming. He actually stunned him off with a relocate arriving. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade-off, even though Axe does kill the Lion.
That's huge, though. Being able to use that finger without having to really search for the kill. Ideally, you'd want to use it on a core hero, but he got all of the XP for that, and at the same time, you're trading 1-for-1, and you're forcing the Wisp to use his relocate, and even more importantly than that, you force Fear into the jungle, and Universe has to go from top to bottom, and it looks like he doesn't want to
trouble. The call's going to be over on him. Where's those spins? Where's the dunk? The shackle, the dunk too early. Henniker will arrive as well as time lapse. And Weaver will run himself out. Matt did also TP in to try and help him out, but it was already too late.
And another failed gank right now for EG is... that's one of the few times where I've seen Universe, with his first Blink Dagger attempt, not really be able to get anything, and he gets nothing but errors. He just continues to farm because he realizes, I'm not going to force this anymore. Like, going for the ganks aren't really working out. Let's just get reliable farm. Our cores are still farming really well, and I think that's his thought process here.
Well, make the cores bigger. But you're right with Universe. It's also a little bit down to that RNG. Like, you're waiting for the spins. He was able to call out an entire creep wave as well as the hero. And he spun, what, twice in the entire time?
Yeah, that was a little bit unlucky for him, man. Bulldog.
And he kind of felt forced to do the culling play. That's why it missed, I think. Because he's like, if I don't do it now, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. It is 3 levels of the Berserker's call, but I mean, he only got like 1 spin or 2 tops. So odds-wise, it definitely wasn't in his favor. And he continues to TP top. Now he smokes and maybe going for another attempt on Admiral Bulldog.
They're going to look for Samael. Like, Admiral Bulldog's going to run out of here. But he's got an Observer and a Sentry down the side. Now, he won't see Universe there. Now he actually does as he walks around the tree line. And Universe knows that Admiral Bulldog is somewhere around there. But they're trying to put this Maelstrom to work for the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, and this is so significant that Universe just got spotted again because that's more than the time, it's the resource that you just used, a smoke for that, and at top, Bulldog has to be a little bit careful, but Universe does get spotted out, and he time-lapses immediately, not even going to risk that.
Well, why would you? You've had such a good offlane, you haven't died yet, you're a level 11 Weaver who's gone 0-0-1, that's the kill, death, and assist. So he doesn't need to be involved in much at the moment. Because you're still going to need Pycat having a great transition. He's actually going to go directly for a Scythe of Vice. By the looks of it. At least that's my assumption, unless he's thinking about Lincoln Sphere. But that doesn't make as much sense with EG.
No, not at all. And the Lions are grouped up for this mid tower right now as they want to start getting aggressive around the map. They've already taken this bottom one out, so doing things like Roshan are pretty free, and this mid lane right now doesn't look like EG are interested in defending as they have to know that something's up. PPD is making his way from the long way, but it's a DD Bristleback. Nobody's even interested in defending this as they realize the potential for counter initiation is high.
Pycat's not going to jump. Matt's not ready for it. No Blink Dagger on him. And the weave from PPD was over on Loader. I was actually going to wonder if he's going to search for the trees. But now with Loader being so low in the armor, the Blink call is over on Matt, so there's no disable arriving in for him. The Sonic Wave pretty much balled. And then the shackle from Samael. Pycat's in so much trouble. Admiral Bulldog comes back to the fight. Now he's going to get that bug off him before he can fight again. As a chance to try and buy a little bit more space here from Arcade. Universe TPing out, spinning as he's doing so, able to survive the relocate. Also taking Samael all the way back to base. Fear and PPD are still here, so Alliance will not stick around for the relocate back in again.
Pycat, I think, was actually fine, but he blinked into that tree line to get aggressive, and then he got shackle shotted right next to it. I think if he was in his current position, he would have been okay, but a little bit unfortunate there is EG pick up a really significant fight. They do lose the tower, but picking up 2 kills, especially one on Pycat, who you desperately needed to kill, is pretty huge for them, and Pycat was so close to that Hex if he decided to go for it, and I think that would have actually demolished this game. Like, if he gets a Hex this early, I don't know if Pycat's or if Sumail's able to survive that.
The answer would probably just be a direct no. It wouldn't be possible for him, but now Sumail's got the option to go directly into the Aghanim Scepter after picking up the Maelstrom and just really just amplify up so much damage. Then again, do you feel like he needs to go into a BKB here, knowing that their Scythe of Vice is on the way?
I'm not sure. I don't know if Sumail's that type of player.
It would actually seem more logical as well to pick up more like the stack kind of build Aghanim Scepter, because if you don't get the BKB off, what use is the BKB?
Yeah, Blink Hex is still one of the strongest initiations in the game. You do have a ton of counter initiation, like you've got the Wisp Tether plus Overcharge with the bottle charges, and you've got a Shallow Grave and nothing that can really go through that. So I'd imagine that he still goes to the Aghanim Scepter.
Sumail and Lotus start staring each other down. Admiral Bulldog will just slip his way up through the side, or I should say scutter his way up through the side. Looking for a closer position over on Sumail. Well, looks like PPD and Universe, well, that's just not the best thing to do in the world. They smoked right on top of the Radiant Observer Ward. So Alliance are very much aware that the Axe as well as the Dazzle are looking for a kill here. And that's why the Chen army moves out to the side. Get as much vision as you possibly can. Power shot's still coming out from Sumail and Universe. Smoke breaks again, but he blinks up, goes for the call, drags Loda under range of the tower. Into the shackle from Sumail. He's taking so much damage, cooldowns on the way in too. Hitting so hard over on that. It's Fear and Aoi are coming into the middle of the fight, but they try and take out Aoi, even committing the Sonic Wave to ensure that kill. But you've just lost the line and the Bristleback for the Wisp, and you're going to lose more. Arcade's got no Hand of God to give us. 4 seconds on cooldown, plus he's dead. Another big disadvantage here for him. As EG 6-5. It kind of felt like they're losing control of this game, but with this fight, they're looking a lot better now.
Yeah, and the Chen had to commit to come in to try to heal Loda because he was taking significant damage, but he just walked straight into the call down as Fear. Places that call down in a beautiful position where Alliance, they either had to give up the Bristleback or go down. But, I mean, that was a sinking ship. I think the move there was just to ditch him and realize that the positioning was just too strong right now for EG. But the Courier is sniped, actually.
That had the Sanj as well as the remaining items to finish up the treads for PPD. And that would have actually finished up the full S&Y for the Gyrocopter. He has to wait 3 minutes before that's completed now.
Yeah, that's a fairly significant snipe. Spycat getting really close to that Hex that you were talking about. It's only 200 gold away, but Sumail, instead of going for the Aghanim Scepter, actually just going for
positioning.
Yeah, he's going for his own build right now.
It's almost like he just wants to solo everyone he could possibly find. Because for me, I was thinking Aghanim Scepter, because you could just use someone like the Axe to tank. The Jar does some, at least a little bit of damage, but you could take out Roshan nice and quick. If either of the supports can pick up a Medallion of Courage, you could just take Roshan so quickly.
So right now, PPD continuing to farm out this mid lane. He's doing exactly what you said, trying to farm out that Medallion of Courage. And I think that EG's goal is to go for the Roshan, and right now, whatever timing window that Alliance has it's slipping a little bit because Ake, he picked up this quick mech, but...
Awesome Sumail, blink up, goes for Admiral Bulldog. Man's gonna be here to get the stun. Relocates on the way in as well, but the Finger of Death's already killed off Sumail. The call from Universe controlling up Mad, but Ake's here with mech. He's got Hand of God available as well, gonna commit both of them, and now he's already dead before he can relocate back out again. Universe has to TP, but is the damage output? Yeah, it's enough, especially with the extra stun. EG lose 3 in one very aggressive jump up to the Radiant Ancients.
Yeah, and you have to respect the ability to counter-initiate with the Chen as well, and going for that 3v5 wasn't the play, as you run into that many Chen creeps and Sumail goes down instantly. Like, he's not that tanky. I think right there was just him over-relying on the Wind Run, thinking that he was okay, but Lion is one of the better counters against the Wind Ranger, as he just kind of hexed him, stunned him, and gave him the Finger of Death, and he goes down immediately, and all of a sudden, with that death, I think that's going to mean top tower.
Yeah, it looks to be the case, especially when you've basically got Twister up on top lane. Another thing to also say for Sumail, he wasn't ready for the Blink Dagger from the line. That was only picked up like 30 seconds before that engagement happened. So the timing was just also perfect for Alliance.
I think you could reasonably assume that he's about to pick it up, though, because...
You could assume it, he just didn't know it straight out.
Yeah, they've taken 2 towers, he got some solo kills, and the way that this game has gone so far, I think it's a reasonable assumption that he's actually about to get level 2 Finger as well soon. And Sumail, he's got to be careful, as he does rely pretty heavily on snowballing, I feel, on this hero, especially with the item build that he's gone.
Yeah. Like, if you went for the Aghanim, it's a little bit more like mid-game orientated.
Yeah, it's stable.
Yeah. You could have even picked up something like the Desolator as well as the Aghanims together, which is, again, one of these, you remove buildings, you remove heroes when you isolate them kind of thing. But then he would rely on Axe to be your only initiator. and maybe that's the reason why they didn't do it. Admiral Bulldog, there's your call, relocates on the way in here. Can they control him in time? No, they cannot. Admiral Bulldog's able to time-lapse out, yet 8-1 charge is also available, and that homing missile is not the stun you were looking for.
And that's the third time they've gone for a gank on him that hasn't paid off. The first time, I believe, nothing happened. The second time, they actually died doing it, and the third time, they just waste the relocate. So when again, Bulldog, just by existing, continues to make space. And it looks like he's going to go for the MKB first as a direct counter to the Wind Ranger.
And that's a pretty heavy pickup, but he's found the money for it, so hey, why not? You got Tread's Wand in a bottle, and with Aquila, you don't really need much more over on the Weaver when you're running him as an offlaner. If your only job is to make sure Wind Ranger's life is a living hell.
And Bulldog at this top lane, it looks like Universe, I mean, he's chilling up here.
He's done the jump 3 times, and they can't find a kill even when he's got support. So, there's nothing he can really do on that top lane, he knows it.
Yeah, and he just wasted a little bit of time waiting and kind of thinking it out, and Bulldog scouting it out with his invis right now. And Universe goes to the blink call, but I don't even know if this
He's trying to drag him close up to Samal, who's there with the shackle shot off into the focus fire. Hand of God, time-lapse cannot get it off in time. Axe will finally get the dunk down. And Universe has been trying to do this for the last 10 minutes, and finally, he puts the Weaver in his place.
Yeah, and Sumil there with the fantastic shackle shot. They realize, they're like, okay, we're tired of you, Admiral Bulldog. Like, you have to go down this time at least. And finally able to bring him down. And Bulldog, I mean, that was a little bit cocky. He continues to chase out. I actually thought he was going to survive for a second. Like, the Hand of God I thought was going to be enough. He just needed like half a second. It wasn't even that. It was like a quarter of a second for the time lapse. And Alliance, this is something they like to do. They immediately go for the smoke gank, and PPD seems to be the target.
Yeah, with a figure of death though, they do get the hex off, and that means PPD is incapable of going into his own shallow grave. But in comes Fear, the call's on Loader. They can isolate this Bristleback, and he's a big hero to pick off. He takes a lot to bring down though with that Crimson Guard. Arcade's trying to send him back, and they can't kill him in time. Loader will be saved by one of his best friends. I say his best friend. But they keep chasing further. Universe misses the call. The TP's going to come down in time, so Arcade turns the Chen Army around, stuns him up, nukes him up, in with the Sonic Wave. They're losing so many heroes here, Ichi. Universe will drop. They lost the Io to that Queen of Pain. And Admiral Bulldog can't go much deeper than this. He knows it as well. He's underneath that tower and very, very visible. But why should Alliance care? They can move down and take Roshan now. And who's going to stop them from EG?
Yeah, and Alliance going for the outfight right there. And Universe blinks up blindly, but unable to catch anything, especially none of the Chen creeps. And I think that was the goal for him to try to get Chen with the creeps, but unable to do so. And an overcommitment is, you're not going to run away from Alliance's lineup. Like, you're fighting against a Weaver who might as well have a Blink Dagger at this point. Loda with one of the best counter-initiate abilities in the game in that Bristleback. The Blink Dagger on the line, Pycat as well. And it's just too hard for them to, once you commit to a fight against Alliance, like, you're committed. Like, you have to go for it at that point, because once Alliance senses weakness, they're just going to chase you out and pick you off one by one.
Oh, they gotta do it. They gotta find the kill. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, the pickoff, keep the advantage, and then you're all good. But for now, EG, with a couple of these fights, they're falling behind. 4,500 in the net worth, the 3,000 experience as well. Fears at least able to play a little bit more catch-up when he can come down and take out these Ancients, but you're also hitting a point too where you ask yourself the question, okay, so the Wind Ranger's losing her momentum. It's assuming that she really had the momentum to start with. What is the Wisp and Dazzle going to achieve in the future? Like, what are these heroes for? Like, what are they meant to do for EG apart from make, what, Fear survive?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned right now for EG, because for me personally, this is an EG that I haven't seen before. This is an EG that feels like they have to force something. Like, it constantly feels like they're kind of taking inopportune fights just to make something happen and to see what's going on. And it feels like Alliance are the team that are the more patient ones. They're trying to sit back, play behind each other, and they're just creating space for each other a lot easier, I guess. Like, it just feels like EG is just forcing things a little bit too hard.
Yeah. And I feel you're 100% right. So the only way to really change is, like, EG could just sit back and farm up a little bit too. And that's maybe the best thing they could do. Like, then again, Axe has kind of everything he's searching for. With the Vanguard, the Force Staff, as well as the Blink Dagger, he can get in position. Waiting for Wind Ranger to finish up another 1,500 gold to pick up a Aghanim Scepter feels like a viable option. The Dazzle, potential, well, you could go for like a Glimmer. That's something that will help EG get in and out of these fights. And the Wisp has 1 Tranquils as well as Earn. Like with the bottle, you're not really asking for much more. Mad, okay, that's not where he wants to be, but they're never going to find him there. But he's not taking the chance. He'll TP out. The courier was pretty damn close to him, but he gets out to safety in time.
Yeah, the courier's just scouting out the ward because they don't want to place an observer ward up there. They've already lost the Roshan opportunity, and so I think they're just going to try to ward defensively wherever they can.
Fear going to get hexed up, a very short relocate out. Universe went for the calls again, trying to drag Loda, as well as Pike get too far back behind the tier 2 tower. They trigger both the mech and the Crimson Guard. But no ulti's lost here for Alliance.
They have to be so careful though, because again, if they get into a fight against EG, like there are 2 Blink Daggers on the side of EG. Both teams like seem fairly confident in getting into this fight, but if you're wrong, I imagine at least 2 heroes go down on either side.
Yep. I'm just watching Samal with a double damage room before a fight's going to begin. He's just really wanting to have a crack at this. These tornadoes, which are also on the field, another 25 seconds in duration available. So EG, it's really difficult to get in position now to fight this. So you're relying on a level 4 power shot from Samael to harass down a couple of heroes who still are going to have Hand of God as well as mech available for them. And EG's committed all 5. Like they're waiting for the team fight to happen, but fortification of the tower. There's Alliance trying to commit for this, and that's what EG's waiting for. The tower denied by Wind Ranger. Use the DD rune to ensure that one, and Alliance just backing the hell out of here. They have the advantage. Why risk it?
Oh, but a 5-man smoke and then a pause, but I think this 5-man smoke is okay because they know that Alliance are going to be on the retreat, and what they're hoping for right now, I think, is that somebody TPs out or goes to the jungle and kind of disengages, and Alliance won't see this coming, but I mean, they do have a ward right here, right? I think they spotted it. I'm not entirely sure.
You're talking about this one here? Okay.
Yeah, I think that this one here,
okay,
we actually can't. We'll show you guys after.
Yeah,
once we get back to the game.
We're basically talking about a ward which is just next to the tier 2 tower in the middle lane for EG, but at the bottom of the staircase going into the jungle.
Yeah, so imagine
we do radio star commentary, descriptive terms.
You guys know what's going on. You're smart enough for this. If Toby can figure out how to explain it to you, you guys got this.
Oh, Blitz, I thought we were friends.
Dude, we are. We're the best of friends.
Then why do I feel burnt?
I'm just trying to. After that cast you did with Mad, that like 15-minute fight, I'm trying to keep the ego down.
Please do, please do. No more ego incidents in esports. Yes, there's already enough of those as it is.
Alliance right now. I mean, Loda looks like just a little bit anxious. Feels like he just wants to play.
I'm not surprised, man. He's got good momentum. Like, this is probably the best position Loda could have ever asked for. He's got a full SMY done. He's got a Crimson Guard up and running. You've got a Cloak and you got Blade Mail. You've got 29 armor over on this Bristleback. Even when the weave starts having an effect on you, you're still feeling like you could stand during the fights. So, and then you got Bristleback at level 16. What have you really got to worry about if you're Loda here?
Nothing really. I guess the Bristleback can still put out some damage, or the axe if he calls you.
True, but it's that at least then you turn towards the axe. Like that's a nice thing for the Bristleback. I mean for the axe, but you're still looking for the follow-up damage, which has to kind of come from a Shackle Wind Ranger to bring him down. If you don't have that with a focus fire and attacking directly at him, you're not really going to find that extra opening. Yeah, at least that's the way I look at the fight.
He's being sent back right now. This is the smart move right now in EG. I mean, there's no rush for them to take him. They might actually just go all the way around, and they are being pinged out. Yeah, they got spotted for this. Matt even circled the area that he thought they were. Okay, they spot the courier on top of this. It's like everything has been... They know.
Yeah, there's no more secrets to be had here at all.
This has been revealed.
Yeah, so they didn't smoke on top of the ward, and it was visible to Alliance, so they knew what was coming. And how confident is Madfield too? With a Blink Dagger on this top lane, he's not quite sure if anyone's going to try and come and defend that tier 2 tower, but if EG do try and commit and push out this bottom tower, you can send Samal down here to do this anyway. Then there's... okay, it's going to be Fear coming to the top lane.
They gave up on this bottom attempt. I think they realized that it's not worth it to risk everything for a tier 1 tower. And that's the thing, is that what are you actually getting if you win that fight, right? You're taking out a tier 1 tower, you gain some momentum, but it's not worth it. Like, there are better opportunities for you to wait for, or fights that you can take, or you can just kind of split push and eventually the bottom lane will open itself, Toby. And that's the thing, is that you're not just trying to all in for a tier 1 tower. Like, that's not the goal here.
Yep.
If it were for a Roshan, maybe, but a tier 1 tower, no. Just back out, circle out, and look for the
Loda was so close. Now Man's going to jump in with the Hex, the box on the back of him. They can basically keep removing this armor of fear. But now in comes your tenor from Aoi 2000. Turns the fight around, or no, he cannot. He'll relocate back out again in 5 seconds time, but Admiral Bulldog with that Monkey King bomb now. The Sad's looking to help him out. 1 second, Aoi, he's out to safety. At the same time, the jump in from Universe. He'll dunk down one. The Weave Effect starts coming in as well. Admiral Bulldog won't want to chase this down any further.
This bottom tower, though, at the same time, they just lost a tier 2, and Alliance are beating on this tier 3, and there's no glyph available.
They have to come back.
They're all isolated on the left side of the map as well.
Samel's returned. Nice shackle, catching out 2 heroes, but it's only delaying the inevitable because the rest of the help hasn't come. They get the buyback from the gyrocopter, and Alliance just retreating back out. They brought that tower down to 340 HP.
That's a really significant investment from EG right now at 32 minutes into the game, forcing out the buyback on that gyrocopter. Alliance is going to be so pleased about this. Yes, you did lose a lion, but at the same time, you took out a gyrocopter, you forced this buyback, you took down the tier 2, and even better than that, you got this tier 3 at bottom so low, so if you want to go for the high ground, this tower doesn't even really exist. Like 340 HP, with Chen creeps you could take that out.
And it's a wonderful position for Alliance fans. If everyone thought it was going to be EG taking this game nice and easily, it's not the case at all. Admiral Bulldog's doing work. Pycat, I'm not even feeling his work during the team fight, but he's walking around with a Shiva's Guard and a Scythe device at level 17. So he looks absolutely happy as Larry. And then you got the Brussa back, who got the Assault Cuirass recipe, and practically the full Assault Cuirass. One more camp to farm up and he's got it. Or a set of Ancients, that'll work too.
Yeah, and with that timing, I feel it's going to be so hard to stop Alliance. Like, they've got so many different armor items on their side.
Sorry, I'm watching this underground network that Samel is basically building up. I swear it's Mafia.
They have to be so careful right now as Matt is in that area, and Samel's going to blink out and TP. They're going to throw the bugs, but he's scot-free, and that's just what Samel does.
That's worth it. Like, Alliance brought 5 heroes this bottom lane. All EG wanted was to ensure the tower was killed off properly and not denied, and they were able to do so with 2 power shots and 3 attacks from a focus fire.
Yeah, Loda, they're sending the courier back with the Hyperstone, and they really want to go for this right now as EG smokes up his 5. They realize the same thing that I did.
Oh, they can see Mad. They know he's inside the pit, but is it worth it? It is. Universe blinks down, gets the call, Mad down very quickly. It's got a Geometry sight there too, so most definitely worth it for EG.
Oh, that's huge, because he just picked it up after the end of that last fight at bottom. And I think EG went for the perfect play there. They have Ward Vision right here. The Lion wasn't able to come in with the gem, and at the same time they realized if they just allow Alliance to walk up onto the high ground and play the siege game, they're going to lose their racks there. Like, the potential is so high for that. So you have to kind of get proactive on the map, even if it's
Universe. Oh, he actually found Pycat. Goes for the call, the relocate's on the way in too, but Pycat will just blink himself away to safety. It's a pretty early relocate from Aoi 2000. Samel sitting on top of the relocate spot too. Loda. He looked like he was about to chase a little bit further up, but not going to happen.
Loda's got a Crimson Guard with an Assault Cuirass, and now he doesn't really need to rely on the Bristleback to survive anymore, as he's got so much armor.
But when he's got it, hey, why not? And Alpha Wolf is following Fear to the ends of the earth, as Fear looks like he's going to be building into that Monkey King bar of his. Samel might be wanting to do the same kind of thing. Actually, Samel going for full damage. He just purchased a Crystallis.
Okay, I don't know if that's the best idea, because I feel like
to go glass cannon?
Yeah, I feel like a BKB might be an okay idea at this point, because if your Dazzle dies, and most of the time your Wisp is going to be tethered to the gyrocopter, I think that it's a decent idea. But I guess in the type of position there where they are behind, he has to go for something.
PPD, dead. Sonic Wave's going to be there, and the Queen of Pain ensures the kill. Surprisingly enough,
chase up, and he manages to catch Universe.
Can they actually kill him though? There's no force up. He's got his BKB up, but the physical damage from Admiral Bulldog, he's actually got it. One more attack, the bugs will come up. They don't latch with a shackle shot. It actually hits onto the tree. Admiral Bulldog locked in the hand of God. He can time out the damage, and now Sumail's in more trouble. Admiral Bulldog going to go deep on this one, finding the double kill. Even with a shackle, they couldn't do it. The call down from Fear and Alliance, they all bailed out in time. The BKB is expended from Fear, and the creep wave is arriving, which means now with all the damage which you've got in the back of the Bristleback, you're taking racks here with 3 heroes down for EG in a horrendous position for America.
And there's no buybacks on those 3 heroes that just went down. BKB was popped on Fear as well as the call down. There's nothing really to defend, and I think Lions know that. They're like, okay, if you were going to buy back, you would have done that by now.
Yep.
That's the commitment right now. 2 racks, sets of racks, going to go down at 37 minutes into the game where you're already behind, and the amount of farm they're going to get after this is going to actually be insane. Like, that's 2 sets of racks down. That's so much of a net worth swing. And if you thought Loda was tanky before, I mean, if he decides to go for a pipe, he could really go any direction that he wants because he's making his team so beefy right now.
He could just go for the heart if he wants to, because there's already a Vladimir's offering up on the field. There's Alpha Wolf will scout the fact that Alliance want to go in for Roshan, so EG, in 8 seconds time they have Sumail back to the world of the living, but 8 seconds is an eternity when you have a Bristleback who's dishing out over 300 damage a pop. Universe in the neighborhood, Blake Singh goes for the BKB call over on 2, but where's your support? Where's your damage? The Weaver's there, into a call down, and Alliance, they want to back up. RK, no Hand of God, no Mega Bubble, they've gone through 1, and maybe even PPD will end up surviving through this. Admiral Bulldog going to time-lapse out the damage. They've actually lost 2 here, and Admiral Bulldog cannot finish off the Dazzle, while Universe keeps going to work. Sumail needs spades, getting the lightning damages. Buyback comes out now from Pycat. They've already brought down Lion, chasing up a Loda, cannot find the opening. The shackle is just a mini stun on the Admiral Bulldog as Sumail needs to run away quickly. Owie 2000 unable to tether down to help out his teammate, but now he will stick with Fear. Admiral Bulldog looking for that opening. They're still battling inside the Roche pit. Its Universe will end up dying here inside the pit, right in front of the corpse of Roshan, but Admiral Bulldog burns the Aegis, the Immortal, but that's not a bad cost. Owie 2000 is about to tether himself back up towards the gyro on the high ground, but Admiral Bulldog loves this. He knows Owie can't go anywhere. The Hex went off, the generator attack, it's not enough damage. 25 life. Wisp will end up surviving. And you managed to get the buyback also out from the Wind Ranger in this one. This was just one hell of a mess of a fight from both sides.
Being able to force the buyback out, and Bulldog got so much out of that fight. 4,800 gold on top of him now, being one of the few Alliance heroes to really be able to make out okay out of that Roche fight, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, that was a perfect fight for EG, but the point still stands. They're down 2 sets of racks right now. Sumail had a buyback just to kind of keep things going, and yes, Pycat bought back, but I mean, the gold advantage is still there for Alliances. For them to lose this game, there would have to be a massive mess up. Like, they would actually have to just run at them and forget that they have keyboards.
I'd say they can go underneath the tier 3 tower and go to a tier 4 tower, but there are no tier 3 towers apart from on top lane. And that's it, they just push top lane is all Alliance really have to do, and you got a Lotus Orb is the choice from Loda.
Oh, I think this is a great choice, especially for the Bristleback.
Is it nice to have it on yourself, or would you have preferred to see someone like, okay, RK's going in for the Aghanim Scepter, and you got Lion who's already got a Glimmer Cape, so yeah, it's fine.
You get the Lotus Orb, use it on yourself, Sumail tries to ultimate you, and then you've got max attack speed. Like, that's the play.
Wait, so you have max attack speed when you're dishing out over 400 physical damage as a Bristleback?
Yeah, and if you think about it, being able to use the debuff on anybody else as well is incredibly effective. Like, imagine being able to just get somebody out of shackle off the bat.
Yeah, that stuff's crazy. Admiral Bulldog's getting even crazy. He's just finished up a full Daedalus.
Okay, so he's got a DD on top of that.
A double damage Daedalus, Monkey King Bar, and a Lincoln Spear to protect him.
And a haste rune on Pycat at the same time. Like, these are some of the more offensive runes, if we're going to say it like that, as top is taken out.
It's 342 damage without having the double damage activated. They're actually sending Mad back to base here. And then he TP's out towards the mid lane. Oh, he came for sentry wards, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, what was the play here? But
yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense, but he's got sentry wards and an observer up his sleeve, so they're just trying to make it as quick as possible without having to send the courier out.
Yeah, and the amount of armor that Loda has, he's got 50 armor right now because Ake decides to go for the Ogre Frost Mage at the same time because, you know, the weave, they need some sort of counter to that, and it's going to be the Ogre Frost Mage. Just, he does have enough creeps to go high ground.
This is going to be, well, they're hoping for the Hallelujah play, but at this point, Alliance haven't even started the organ grinding. They have to back themselves up towards their own jungle, Universe. He gets some vision here. He's looking for a call position, but all he's finding is creeps. The best one they found is Matt, and that's what they're going to do. Shackle, call, got to kill him off. The Hand of God's already gone. Glimmer came to protect him. Fear. It's a good call-out position. Loda does not want to be here. Owie, however, so much damage from the Weaver. Tears apart PPD. And they'll go deeper, Universe for the call. He can at least isolate Loda, and this actually helps his team move over to Arcade. But Admiral Bulldog with this double damage rune, now focusing down towards the Gyrocopter, tearing him apart. EG, it looks like it's actually over right now, and there it is. GG call comes out. Alliance take 42 minutes to wrap up our last game of the day and push EG into the elimination game and secure themselves a position in that, well, I say semi-final. It's a single elimination final, but they're there.
And Alliance have to be so pleased with how everything went from the draft, from the get-go. Things looked a little bit shaky in terms of farm because, I mean, you put a Bristleback mid against a Wind Ranger. The Wind Ranger is going to come out on top.
Yep.
But I felt like Ake made so many clutch rotations, was able to get the kills at bottom lane that he needed to. You know, they got the first blood on the Wisp, and then they were able to pick up the follow-up kill on Sumail on top of that. And then it was